me check it out. Listen, this is another one. This is a great one for the books right now. We're still celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm doing things a little different at this present time, right? Just want to recap a little bit for those that might be joining us a little bit late. There is no comments, okay? Your fire is not needed. I got this. We got to be smart about what we're doing right now. I have to be smart about what I'm doing right now. And I want to lead by example, right? I believe I have an amazing message that many of us can benefit from. And if you can't benefit from it, then maybe somebody else can benefit from it. What I have to say is not for everybody, but it is for somebody. I think one of the takeaways from this broadcast is going to be, it's bigger than me, right? One of the takeaways is how you're going to see it's bigger than me, and also just strategy. I think that moving forward in the days ahead, we're going to need strategy. And I'm here to help provide you with some of those techniques and tools that I personally use, right? I'm honored and humbled to be able to meet you at this present time. I'm excited too, because I can see the light. I can see the end of the tunnel. And if I can see the tunnel, for many of you that's been following me, or for the people that do follow me and take time out, thank you. Thank you for trusting in me to be me. Thank you for expecting me to raise the bar. And in raising the bar, it calls you to raise the bar on you. When I come before you, I open myself up, present myself to you as a yielded vessel for Christ Jesus. I am truly a born-again believer. For some of you, I'm probably need to call Sister Sonia and let her know that you're not going to be able to light fire on this broadcast. Not today. But that's because your fire is still in you. And I don't want us to get programmed into doing things or lighting fire, showing your fire. Sometimes you have to be confident in what you actually have. Today, I'm going to teach an amazing message about being confident in what you have. I'm going to drop some jewels. Hopefully some of you can take those jewels and you can become mentally rich. I believe that we're already rich, right? We're rich in spirit already. You was created with it in your blood. Unfortunately, mentally, some of us, we've been brainwashed, right? We've been brainwashed and programmed, and that's what threw off everything. Today, I look to redirect traffic, reposition where we at, and launch back off, right? Is either hunt or be hunted. Hunt or be hunted is what I labeled this broadcast today, this message today that I bring across in the Midwest, checking in from the Chicagoland area. I have the Invisible Crown Army. I feel their spirit is here with me right now. We mount up on the battlefield. The battlefield is called life. Whose life? Your life. If you're not here to advocate for you and the family that you represent, right, then you showed up for the wrong reason. Me, I show up on the front line because I know I have to go back and give a report. Many of us, just like the 12 spies, there was 12 spies that went across to a promised land, trusting God, right? But they went into an area that they never been in. They went to an area that they didn't know anything about. They was dispatched. Now, could you imagine living in the wilderness all your life, hearing these stories over and over and over again? You got a promise. God gonna do this. God gonna do that. You got power. You got fire. And you around in this area, running around here in the city, running around here in your family tree, looking at your uncles and your aunties living less than, right? Less than, while we're still in light, why we on link, why we on food stamps, why we live in a project, why we on Section 8, right? Why there's no marriages? Where's the graduations at? Why is people not fully committing into relationships? All these things. Why does this person have all these children, right? Where's the father at to the children? Why do the parents got the father on child support? All of this sounds like the wilderness, right? But now it's time that one person is going to be chosen to go over to the promised land. And when you get over the promised land, when it says spy, that means I got to see what makes productive people productive. I got to see what makes spiritual people spiritual. I got to see what makes grounded people grounded. I got to see what makes a woman, a man, a man. I got to be able to see what a family looks like, right? That has resources, right? Not a family without resources. I want to see a family with resources, right? A promised land. Many people around you, they have definitely entered into their promise, right? And others, you have entered into a promise that God has gave you. And he said he'll never leave you or forsake you. There's no other God. And some of us, we keep running to other gods. We keep chasing after the wrong thing. And God is dealing with you. Today, I want to deal with several subject matters. A lot of these matters is a matter of the heart. But most importantly, what I feel right now is I feel delivered right now. I feel free. I feel happy right now. I'm not really into hearing others. That's how we cut the voices off right now. We don't have to read anything. Today, I just want you to be in a great place. I want to put yourself in a good space right now, mentally, eternally. Tap in. Listen to the voice. Allow the voice to instruct you on a journey. The journey is called life, right? And all the things that was pulling on you is now being released from you. It's being released from your mind. It's being released from your body. It's being released from your spirit. It's being released from your emotions right now, right? You're being released from responsibility, obligations, titles, positions, roles, all these things, contracts, vows, right? Pledges, oaths, right? We've been released from all these things, and we have one opportunity to start over. And today, we finna enter that place where we start over right now. You guys, I have a tip that I want to start off with you with. And today, I'm encouraging you, maybe tomorrow, when you start your day, everything that you do, and if it works, repeat what works, right? Repeat what works. Every relationship that you have participated in, some of the things you did was amazing. Do not reset what's amazing. Keep what's amazing, especially when you did it. Anything you planted good gonna get you something back good. It's not gonna come from them, it's gonna come from you, because you can expect something, right? Many a times when we out in the world and we're doing things, there's sometimes we forget that we are the sower. We are the sower. What goes in your mouth, it produces inwardly. What comes out your mouth, it produces outwardly, right? And we have to be very, very careful to make sure that we are operating within who it is that we was created to be. We was created in the likeness. We was created in the image. And what am I saying? I'm saying when it comes down to you, you need to make sure that you are the image of the Most High. You are the image of the Creator. You are the image of a wife. You are the image of a husband. You are the image of a business owner. That's what I'm expressing to you right now. Today, we're going to make sure that we refine ourselves, we refresh ourselves. We are being replenished at this present time. So I hope you guys are ready. I have a few parables I want to come into contact with you. So I want to make sure that I remember them. So I'm going to write them down, right? I normally don't write things down, but I'm going to write this down because I need to remember this, right? And I'm going to run it back. Okay, it's called the orange. It's called the orange. All right, so I want to make sure I write this down. And so, anyway, as I begin to push on, you already know there's 3 things that you're looking to take from this broadcast. The first thing you're going to take is personal growth. Personal growth is very important. If you want to ever test if you made any personal growth, then I ask you to just stop and look back at some of your performances, some of the things you participated in. You did very well for yourself. You should give yourself a round of applause. Why? Because that was you being that mother. That was you being that father, right? You want to look at your children and seeing some of their growth. Guess what? Applaud yourself because you're doing the best you can, right? Personal growth. It's not It's not about you. It's about what's being created around you. That's why it's bigger than you. And for some of us, we keep things to a limit and we're not allowing things to grow around us. This is the day that we open up and we recognize now, moving forward, that the things around us has to also grow as well. It's about leadership, right? It's about leadership. And what am I saying? I'm saying you are being called to be the best. One of the things I thought about is personal growth. One of the things I thought about when creating I Am My Life Coach was, how was this going to affect my life? I really didn't write the book I Am My Life Coach for anyone else except myself. Call it selfish, but it's not selfish. I had an encounter, and with that encounter, it made me want to see me for me, right? It made me want to see me for me. And when I looked around and heard the people witnessing about me, people testifying about me, right? And I started wondering, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Why don't I have some of the other things that I know I should have? And it said, I heard the voice, it said, you're not working on you. You're working on everything else around you. You're giving to these other individuals, people. You're trying to please people. You can't please people and God. Come on now. I feel fire, but it's inside of you today. You don't get a chance to click that button today. You don't get a chance to show people you got fire today. I don't know if anybody here today, but if you're feeling what I'm saying right now, then I know your fire is already burning inside of you, right? And what am I saying? Let's go deeper. Personal development. Personal growth, I'm sorry, with I Am My Life Coach. Use the I Am My Life Coach as a personal reference tool. It really reconditioned my mind. And in reconditioning my mind, that's where the real work started. The real work started, and that's where the value started. I know that this is a secret that I'm giving you guys right now. You have to listen to it. You have to hear it. You have to find it. I Am My Life Coach represents ownership, right? My best prized possession is to be in the presence of God and be talking to you at the same time. That is a privilege and it is an honor. It's a privilege and it's an honor. It's a mystery. It's a privilege, an honor, and a mystery to be able to tell you that I am grounded, right? I'm grounded and I am yielded, right? So that when Christ comes to speak in me, he speaks through me, and some of you will be affected by the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? I'm excited about that as well. And understanding that I did everything that I could to become the best version of me. So I know for a fact that I'm the best. I speak the best words out of my mouth, right? Based on where I've been. I put the best food in my mouth. When it comes to me eating, I feed my body the best, right? I want the best, right? We should strive for the best, right? If we're gonna resemble the image of God, we was created in his likeness. So we should be not expecting the best from someone else. You should be expecting the best out of you, because that's what God is expecting out of you. Everything God did, everything God created, God stepped back and said, that's good. And when you are engaging with any other individual, you are participating. How well you handle yourself is totally in your control. It's totally in your control. Self-development, right? Personal development is you just developing some of your abilities right now, right? You know, the Bible teaches you, it says, be anxious for nothing, right? That means I need to be patient for what I'm waiting on. And I think that living in a generation that wants to right now, living around people that's putting demands on you, wanting to see you do something, but don't know how to see themselves do something, that's because they've been watching you. They've been watching you be you. And now they done found a way to manipulate the system of them not being themselves by becoming dependent or codependent upon you, right? Access starts with yourself. Independence starts with exactly that. Independence, just like codependent. That means we're dependent on something. I'm dependent on you to allow Christ to show up in you when It comes down to you being you and learning how to listen. That's what I done. That's what I did, right? And remember, there's another scripture that says, be quick to listen and slow to speak. So I had to get kind of crafty today and remove the comments because I want us to be quick to listen and slow to type or to read something. There's no distraction. We don't need no distraction. God is removing all the comments, right? Because at this point, it doesn't matter what somebody think about you. At this point, it doesn't matter what nobody did to you. At this point, it doesn't matter what they took from you. At this point, it doesn't matter what you didn't know. All that matters at this point is what you are about to do, what you are about to come to in alignment with, what you are about to understand. Come on now. This is the next break. This is the next step. This is the next level. We're going to have to level up in this one right here. What am I saying? I'm saying you're going to have to be your best, become your best. You're going to have to give your best, right? Because better, right? Bigger, better, greater requires what? It requires the best, the best. When you become the best, you will be around people that brings the best out of you, or you will bring the best out of those that are around you. Unfortunately, everybody don't want to take this opportunity. Everybody don't want to take this elevation. Everybody don't want this rise. This rise is becoming because of you. God is filling you up. He's providing for you. And in that providing for you, you become the best. But let me express something to you. The best only requires the best. And what am I saying? I'm saying that when you become the best, you only bring the best out of people. You don't bring the worst out of people. You bring the best out of people. And I choose to believe at this point that people don't understand this because they was never taught this. This is a programming that is programmed so it was done so strategically that you don't even question it. You won't question it. You see, the best should bring out the best. The best should bring out the best, not the worst. But why do the worst come out? Because that's the program. It's almost like Paul. When Paul was on a boat, some while back I talked about, he was on a ship and he was on his way to trial, right? And many of us, we on our way to trial too, right? And they was all on the boat. The boat went into a storm, and in that storm, the boat went to pieces. When they swam to shore, right, it was some islanders, right? They didn't know them, foreigners, people that they did not know. And they had their own customs. And when they got them out the water, no one died, right? That was a blessing, right? They came on shore. Someone is comforting them. They're feeding them. They're clothing them, getting them ready. And they lit a fire. When Paul went to throw some wood in the fire, this is about your fire now, a snake jumped out the fire and bit him. And when the snake jumped out the fire, it was because of the fire that the snake jumped out. What am I saying? I wanted you guys to turn your fires off right now, right? Because you can always pop them on. But when you turn your fire on, I want to let you understand that a snake is coming out that fire. A snake will come out that fire, right? What that means is some things will come out of you. The way you handled yourself, the way you allowed yourself to be handled, you know, the things that you have done to your body to make you gain weight, right? Come on now. The relationships you have participated in, you didn't handle your position well. You allowed somebody else to fail in their position as well. You didn't give them the best you. You gave them all that you felt they deserved. But guess what? What did you deserve out of you? You see, you the one living in this vessel. You don't crash your car because you want to show somebody else they upset, that they made you upset, or they frustrated, or they got on your nerves. That's no self-control. Come on now. When you light your fire, a snake is coming out, but that snake is coming out of you. That's why that snake bit Paul. It bit him because the fire was lit. But when he got by the fire, the snake jumped out. Come on now. What am I saying? I'm saying, you guys, that you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed what's inside of you, right? I have an example today. And with my example that I have, I need you to use your imagination, right? Here's your imagination. Imagine that this is a fruit, right? A fruit. This fruit is an orange, right? Here's my example. This fruit is an orange. And being that this is an orange, if I cut this fruit in half, right, then this is how I get to the orange. But when I squeeze this fruit, the juice that comes out should be orange juice. The juice doesn't come out unless I squeeze it, right? But we both know, including the people that's online right now, that what's coming out is orange juice because this is an orange. You cannot squeeze an orange and expect apple juice. You can't squeeze a woman and expect a wife, right? You can't squeeze somebody that look like a man and expect a husband. That's not how it works. You see, when you squeeze someone, God is squeezing us and he wants to see is his son coming out of you. Let me say this again. When you fully accept Christ, God gonna come and squeeze you. Whatever that's in you gonna come out you. If snakes come out you, if anger come out of you, where is it living at? It's living in you. You see, you can't squeeze you. Just because you say you a husband, that don't make you a husband. It's how when God squeezes you, what comes out of you determines what type of husband you're going to be. See, if you can have a husband, but when you squeeze him and he slap you, you have a violent husband. You see, you can take a husband and if you squeeze him, right, and you irritate him or something to that nature, right, and he responds in an ungodly way, right, then you might have a deceiving husband. If you squeeze him and you study asking him these different type of things, and by this time he's telling you something, whatever, and it's not to be true, then you have a lying husband, right? If you sit here and you have this right here, and this is a husband, right? It's your husband, and God comes and squeeze what you have, because what you have is what you created, right? And you squeeze him, and what comes out is the fact that he really liked that person, that person, that person. You have a cheating husband, right? Because not that I'm just being a husband to you. I'm being a husband to you, and you, right? But once again, what are we talking about? We talking about God squeezing something and somebody coming out, right? The question is, if God squeezes you, what comes out? Whatever comes out is what's inside of you. I feel like that means you're emotional wrecked, right? When God squeezes you, right? Not intelligence is not coming out. Bitterness is coming out. Why? When God squeezes you, why are you so bitter? Anger is coming out. When God squeezes you, why are you so angry? But you're not angry because you want to blame it on someone. What's inside of you don't come out unless you squeeze. If somebody hug you, it comes out of you. If somebody touch you, something happens to your body, right? It's a feeling you get, right? You'll see where I'm going with this message in a minute, you guys. As you know, I get into the best part, things I like to do. And I love scriptures. I love to flip the script. I love to give back to people that can hear. I do understand that Jesus, my Lord and Savior, also said, let those that have ears, let them hear. I can give you all type of motivation. I can give you all type of inspiration. But if I cannot show myself approved, meaning the desires of my heart, right? The things that I want to do is the things that I'm actually doing, right? And unfortunately, when you squeeze me, when God squeezes me, I want what's in me to always come out of me. I want to make sure that I'm always putting out the best frequency, the best brand, the best substance, right? But I also know that there's people out here that wants to taint what I put out. That means you put something out and they change the flavor of it. They add sugar to it. They add alcohol to it. They add poison to it. And they act as if you, the one who gave them that. No, you the one who created that, right? The best will bring out the best. But unfortunately, everybody is not made for the best. Everybody is not made for the best because the best comes with a cost. It comes with a responsibility, right? So that's why the worst behavior is the return, because I can see somebody operating at their full potential, but the one that's receiving is operating below their potential. They're not giving out fully who they are. Come on now, I got some message for us today. I want to get this thing done so I can get on with the rest of my day. I appreciate everybody for joining me for the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2, right? I am my life coach too. Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. You know how we do it. Let's kick into a word, right? So I want to start with this one word right here. This is a transfiguration. I want to show you what it means to have a transfiguration, right? Immediately. I'm going to use my ability to translate this thing for you. It's in Matthew 17, verse 1. Verse 1. I'm going to take my time. I don't want to rush this. This message ain't for everybody, but it is for somebody. I hope that I can share with you as you can share with me. Once again, your fire is your fire. It is lit. But today, no one will be able to see your fire because some things you're going to have to keep to yourself. This is an inside job. You either going to hunt or you're going to be hunted. Somebody either coming to kill you or you're going to have to go kill what you need. Come on now. And what am I saying when I say that? You're going to either have to hunt for what you want, but what you want lives inside of you. You're going to have to go hunt for the Christ in you. You're going to have to hunt for the God in you. You're going to have to hunt for everything that makes up you. If you do not hunt for that, then what's going to happen is you're going to be hunted. You're going to be hunted because you're not performing. And when he squeezes you, it might be your last squeeze. And you might be looking for that squeeze now. Some of us, I believe this is the position we in right now. We looking to be squeezed again, but ain't nobody squeezing you. You looking to be squeezed again because you're ready for love, but ain't nobody squeezing you. You looking to be able to communicate with somebody again, but ain't nobody squeezing you, so no conversation is coming out of you, right? Some of you, you've been practicing. You know you ready. At least I know I'm ready. I'm ready to represent myself. I'm ready to plead my case. I'm ready for another opportunity. I'm ready to be the best version of me. I'm ready to put it all on the line. I'm ready to give it all, right? I'm ready to receive, right? I'm ready to do everything I'm ready to do. I'm ready for guys to squeeze me. You'll see I'm ready. But the question is, can you wait until God squeeze you? Can you wait till he come and squeeze you to see what's coming out you, what's still in you, what needs to be adjusted right now? You see, everything you build will get squeezed. Everything you build, every house you build, anything you build, it will be tested. What you build will be tested. And the issue is when it comes to human being, a man did not make no woman and a woman did not make no man. So I don't know why we're living in a time where we'd rather tell somebody else what their problem is. And the problem with telling them what their problem is that's a violation of protocol. We're not here to tell nobody what their problem is. To tell them what their problem is to tell God what his problem is. And God is the creator, right? Well, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper into this word. So we on Matthew 17, verse 1. Listen to this, you guys. After 6 days, now listen to me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That means you had a long work week. Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John. Stop right here. This is what I'm saying when I say, some of you on a journey with me. And I'm grateful that we're in the same place. Listen to me. I'm so grateful we're in the same place and we're on the same mission. It's because I want to take you with me. I want to go to a higher place, right? When I get better, you should get better, right? When you see how I did it, you can do it, right? I'm just an individual. I had to have something different. God gave me I Am My Life Coach. But with I Am My Life Coach comes a big responsibility, because when you understand I Am My Life Coach comes with a big responsibility, then let's break it down and let's go deeper, because I gave you this last week. When it comes down to I Am My Life Coach, that is a big responsibility. Why? Because it starts with the word ability. He gives us the ability to play a part in the things that goes on around us. Come on, you guys, let's go. So watch this. You have the responsibility. But when you have a responsibility, right, you must first have the availability. And what am I saying? I'm saying a lot of us, we meet people and we want to know, are they available to date? Is they available available to get in a relationship, or are you in the relationship? But the real question is your functions that's inside of you, are they available? Is your heart available? Is your mind open? Are you available to hear Christ inside of you? Are you available for Christ to come in you and talk out of you? Are you available to pray for us? Are you available to pray for yourself? Are you available to sit here and pray for our surroundings? Are you available to pray for what we're about to get into? What am I saying? I'm saying the first step that you understand is that we have a responsibility, and that responsibility comes with, I am a life coach. Come on now, let's teach today, you guys. Let's have a good teaching. I am a life coach is a starting point, but when you move from that point, it goes to availability. And when you have the availability, now it comes with accountability. And accountability is what allows you to link in with responsibility. And that is to use your ability to keep yourself available for God to come through, not the devil to come through. Don't allow the demons to close you up. Don't allow a devil to shut you down. Don't allow a sick, unclean spirit to make you become sick. And when you become sick, that means you can't perform. That means you underperform. That means you living on hurt and pain. That means you living in the past, not the future. See, we live forward, but for some reason, you let something come in and shut you down because you had a responsibility. You had the availability, but guess what? You was moving on to the accountability, and the accountability was to make sure that you stay available and you stay responsible over who? Over yourself. Come on now, let's go deeper. If I had fire and I was letting us be seen, I say light your fire. But at the end of the day, I know you lighting fire anyway, because when I'm lighting fire, I can't help but to spread the fire, because I need to let everybody know I'm AJ the wildfire. A wildfire spreads. You get me? A wildfire spread. All I needed was my fire, the fire of God, to burn. And when it burns down everything. It burns down everything and anything. So we go into accountability. But when you click over to accountability, what does that give you? It gives you stability. Stability means that I have to balance myself out in what I'm participating in. Come on now, I can't blame you for what I do. I can't blame you for making me unstable. Why can I not blame you? Because I know that stability is based on my availability, which gave me the accountability to do what? To have a responsibility. And that is to stay open and allow God, which is Christ, the Son, live in me, God, direct me, and protect me. And that's what makes him the Lord and Savior. Notice I never said anything about the individual, because there's no other individual. The only other individual is the Christ that lives and resides in you. Come on now, let's go deeper. So once you get the stability, then you bring on credibility. And credibility is when you start adding points on the board. Well, what am I saying? I'm saying that once you have a responsibility, it kicks over because you have availability. And with the availability, that means I'm open. My heart is open. My mind is open. My ears are open. My mouth is open. When I speak words as if Christ is the one that's speaking through me. Come on, you guys. And what does that do? That gives me not only the accountability, but it brings forth stability. That means Christ is talking. He's talking out of me. And even when he's talking out of me, my ears is hearing what Christ is actually saying, that either whoever else they might need to do will watch out. Here I go. I'm finna go deeper. Let's go deeper. It gives you the credibility. Let's put the points on the board, and which brings forth security. And that's how I'm able to say that I'm secure in who I am and whom's I am. So now that I done started my car, now that I have on the full armor, now that I'm ready to sit here and go out and take what's mine. And that means, remember I said that each and every last one of you are being called to the promised land. That means only one person gonna be the one who changed the family. Only one person gonna be the one who upgrades the community. It's gonna be one person, and that one person today gonna be you. It stops with you. It stops with you. You've been chosen. That's why you here. It's not a lot of people. It's just the right people. I Am My Life Coach is the blueprint. This is the assignment. This is what we using as the base and the foundation. Come on, y'all. Let's go deep. I got to move now. Watch this. Jesus gets Peter, James, and John, the brothers of James, right? And led them. Stop right there. Some of us, you need to understand what led means. Led means you lead from the front. And what am I saying? I'm saying every last one of you, right? We all are called to lead some people that's behind us. There's somebody that you had to lead. You had to let go. There's There's some things you had to let go. There's some things you had to release. It was being released from your past. But guess what? You're going to have to cross over and go do some research. You're going to have to cross over and go see what it takes. But when you get it, you're going to have to come back. Come on now. Watch what I'm telling you. So what's this? What's this? Watch this. So he says, he brought them with them. He led them. See, what am I saying? Some of you, this is an inside job. You should be leading them to the wife. Don't sit here talking about you know wife and you can't lead them to the wife in you. But you can't lead a person to the wife because you as a woman have not found the wife. Why? Because you're not available. You're not available. People know I ain't dating nobody. I ain't dating nobody. We ain't with nobody. I ain't even seeing nobody. You're not available. Well, I ain't available. I ain't dating nobody. Because Christ ain't in you yet. You're not available for Christ. And then they smack their lips or something. Be like, you know what I mean? See, you assume. No, I go off of what comes out your mouth. See, I'm available for Christ. Christ is here. What I'm saying, being available gives you the responsibility. Responsibility gives you the availability. Availability brings forth accountability. Accountability kicks you over to what again? It kicks you over to stability. When you got the stability, now that kicks you over to your credibility, and your credibility gives you the security. So now you done been locked down. Your whole system is in order, and Christ is in full control. You cannot blame nobody else at that point. Watch what I'm telling you. Listen, Jesus is leading them. They up to a high mountain by themselves. Listen to that. By themselves. They being led by themselves, not with a church, not with a job, not on a retreat, not on nothing, by themselves, perfectly chosen. This ain't 12 disciples. This is only 3. This is only 3, right? This is not 12, this is 3. It's James, John, Peter, James, John, and the brother of James. Yeah, 3 people. So what am I saying? Out of all these people, only 3 of them is willing to go forward and allow Christ to lead. Come on, Christ, lead me today. Lead me to a higher understanding. Lead me to the strength, the power, the glory. Come on, lead me to my next level and who you calling me to be. I'm available for it. You know what I have because you the one who put it there. You know what it is I'm missing because you the one took it from me. Come on now. Let's go deeper, you guys. Let's go. Here we go right here. There he was transformed before them. Stop right there. Do you see the transformation that has supposed to happen? Your transformation happens in front of somebody. Somebody got to see you but go from this to that. Somebody got to see you go from this to that, from to go. Somebody got to see you go from the bottom to the top. And for those that stand with me, those that been with me, those that walk with me, those that ran with me, those that retreated with me, those that timed out with me, thank you. Thank you for my transformation. And in my transformation and following me and walking with me and doing all those other things, you had a transformation too. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're here for this. Watch this. Let's go deeper with the this. Let's find out what this is that we're here for. Right? Check it out. Check it out. His face shone like the sun. That means there was a transformation outwardly. You look different, right? His clothes became white as the light. Transformation up in here, the clothes, right? The things you see, the things you clothe yourself in. You clothe yourself in the glory. You clothe yourself in peace. You clothe yourself in love. You just love. You love. You love. You love. It's so free, right? And you clothe yourself in it. That's the light. That's the light. That's why he said, who had they light underneath the bed? No, that's your light, right? Now watch this. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah. So while they was at the top and while he was in a transformation, Moses is like the church. Those are the commandments. Those are the laws, right? Moses appeared, right? Now listen to me. Moses is the ones who led them out of Egypt. See, some of you, your ancestors will appear. Your mama, if they crossed over, your father, anybody loved one, they appear to you and they let you know you are on the right track. Everything is about to be better for you. I see what you're doing, right? Like some people like, hey, they watching over me. Okay, well, here you go. Moses appears, right? Now keep in mind, this heaven, get it? He at the top of the mountain. But guess what? Remember when Moses was on top of this mountain, right? Remember when Moses on top of this mountain? Remember, Moses climbed the mountain too. And when Moses was talking to the burning bush, he asked God, can I see your face? Right? He can't. God, can I see your face? God said, you can't see my face. Anybody see my face, they die right then and there, right? He said, I want to see your face, right? He said, what I'm going to do is you turn around and you're going to see my back. And so Moses was able to see God's back. But remember, his hair turned white, right? Now, fast forward. Jesus just made his way right here. Matthew 17, verse 2. Jesus on top of this mountain. Jesus is the Son of God. So Jesus is God. He's the Lord of heaven and earth. So watch this. Just then appeared before them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. Moses would have never died if he wouldn't have asked to see God's face. Because now Moses died. Remember, he couldn't go into a promised land. Moses died, and God loved Moses. Moses died. But now Moses is dead, and Jesus is on the mountain where Moses at. And Moses get to see Jesus' face. You get to see God. Moses is looking at God now. You see, God answered his prayer, but he had to die in order to get the prayer answered. Come on, you guys. Oh, this is hard. Some of you, there's some things in you. You gonna have everything you looking for. You gonna have your husband. You gonna have your wife. But some gotta die in order for you to have it. And for many of you, what if I told you that's your attitude? What is that? What if I told you that's your programming? What if I told you that requires the sacrifice of everybody you know? That means you can either forget about them or God can start pulling them out your life one at a time. And sometimes it's taking them off this earth before their time. Because God loves you enough to show you that whatever you ask for, he will do it for you. But sometimes it comes with a cost. Now, that's a hard one. Now, I won't go deeper on that one, but I won't. I want to go deeper, but I don't. You hunt for who you need to become and who you need to be, or you be hunted, right? Because the devil is coming for your body. He's coming for you. He's coming for your destiny. He's coming for your tomorrow. He don't want you to be on this broadcast. He don't want you to get this message. He's coming for your fire, right? Yeah. So look at this. Elijah and Moses, they talking with Jesus. Jesus is still on the land, right? Talking just like this, right? Look at this. Peter said to Jesus, Lord, is it good for us to be here? Stop right here. You mean tell me the one person you brought with you, they able to see who's talking to you? What am I saying? Who you been talking to lately, right? See, it's an inside job. Availability give you a responsibility. Responsibility comes from availability. Availability leads to accountability. Accountability leads to stability. Stability leads to credibility. Credibility, who can vouch for your credibility? Who can vouch for your growth? And I'm not talking about people that should be looking up to you, but you looking up to them. Come on now. That's the reason why you ain't made no growth. Right? Right? Yeah. Here you go. Look at this. Lord, is it safe? He said, put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah, right? Ready to work. Ready to work. You see, when you are available and you have the availability, you are available, you have credibility, you have stability, you have accountability and responsibility, you ready to work. Lord, do you want me to build a tent for Elijah, Moses, and yourself? Hire yourself. Do you want me to give them the best conversation? Can I give them the best one? Can I lend my ears to them? Can I let them in the storehouse of my heart? Can I give them my heart desires? Can I share my vision with them? Can I open up and give them the goal? Them the type of people you need around you. Do you hear me? When you are the best, you bring out the best. Jesus is the best. But look at Peter, already ready to serve somebody else. He ain't asked them, man, who of them is? Man, wait, hold up. They ain't with us. They don't do nothing for me. I'm not dependent on them. I'm not. See, when you enter into kingdom mind, you are ready to serve anything that's about to make you better. If it makes you better, then it makes me better. Come on now. If it makes you better, it makes me better. What am I saying? I'm for what makes you better. If he makes you better, then he makes you better. I'm okay with that. What am I saying? If he makes you better, then all I could do is be better for you by being happy for you. But everybody ain't happy for you. I told you when the fire is lit, snakes jump out, attitudes jump out. What they jump out of? They jump out of you. They jump out of you. So let's go deeper, you guys. Come on, y'all. I'm finna close it up. Look at this. And I need to close out with one message. When the disciples heard, wait. While they were still speaking, a bright cloud covered them. And the voice from the cloud said, "This is my son talking." Higher self. Look at this. This is my son talking, whom I love, whom I love. So it doesn't matter about somebody else loving you. It's a matter of how God loves you, because he's functioning in his availability to have a responsibility that gives him credibility, that allows him to have stability, right? Which is the accountability that he reigned, right? So he said, whom I love. I am pleased. I am well pleased. Well pleased. What would it take for God to say he's well pleased with you? Right? What would it take for him to say he's well pleased at the way you talk to people, the way you handle yourself, the way you feed yourself, the stuff you eat and put in your body, the music? Can he say he well pleased when he checks in on you, the thoughts that goes on in your mind, the way you sit here and put forth the effort to be the best version of you? Or are you still complaining? Are you still talking about what God gonna do, but can't realize that he's giving you the ability to do all that he said he gonna do? That's when you become available. And most of the time you ain't available because you're too busy chasing, and you're not understanding that you chasing, so you're not available. You're chasing the next best thing. You're chasing the idea of what you want instead of becoming the idea of what he created you to be. Come on now, in his likeness. In his likeness. You're going to try to chase his likeness in somebody else, but you can't resemble his likeness inside of you. You are the image of the Most High, but you got to be the image of the Most High. You're going to have to create like the Most High. You're going to have to create the words that come out your mouth. You're going to have to create the way you handle things. You're going to have to create, you're going to have to know how to compliment. You want to know how to say, man, that's good. Man, that's good. But see, you want the compliments. God don't want your flattering. He don't want your flattering. This is where pride comes in at, evil. This is where ego come in at, evil. This is where all that, because you selfish. You want all that on you. But God did this so that people can enjoy the God in you and through you. Come on, y'all. Listen to me. Let's go deeper. All right. So this is this. Who I'm well pleased in him. Listen, when the disciples heard this, when they heard this, they fell down to the ground. Stop right here. Terrified. Why are they terrified? They terrified because of one man, transformation, the best. When you give your best, when you perform in your best, God has to reward you by saying he well pleased at how you handle yourself. But when you have not got to this point because you're not available yet, that's because you're still chasing things. You're still sacrificing. You're still being easily distracted. Your focus is off. Well, what am I saying? When you the best, you bring out the best. And when the other peoples heard what they heard, they bowed down and said, yes, God, because the best will bring out the best. And the best in me make other people bow down and thank God for what this person that we've been following is going through. They're on their knees begging, not begging, pleading with God, saying, yes, God, thank you. Why? Because God said, this one I am pleased with, and I'm grateful because the one I'm following is the one God is pleased with. Well, what am I saying? I'm saying I'm learning from the best because I'm the best. Jesus wasn't looking at them. They was looking at Jesus. I will tell you, this is what makes people stumble. They stumble when you take your eyes off of being the best and start putting your eyes on people that got their eyes on you. What am I saying? I'm saying I got to keep being bigger. I got to keep being better. I got to keep being greater. But when you stop your journey and you start looking at somebody else that was looking at you, then your focus is on the wrong one. And this here causes a problem. This here causes an interference. This here causes you to stumble. This causes you to lose control. Why? Because you ain't striving no more. Now you done locked in and your energy is in the wrong direction. And they done pulled you out of sync. Come on now. Done got you off and now they're judging you. The ones that watch you is now judging judging you because your power is focusing on them and they ain't got enough power in themselves to even provide anything for you. But since the enemy used them to take your power away, your power gave them power. Now your eyes on them, and now neither one of y'all have power. Come on now. I refuse to be powerless. Not moving forward. No, we getting power today. We getting our power today. We becoming restored. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. Moving forward, starting June. I'm only coming on the first of the month. The first Monday of the month. So that will open up doors for a lot of us right there. Y'all better get a hold of that. That's going to be great and good. Watch this. Let's continue to press forward. Watch this, you guys. We having fun in the word right now. That is Matthew 17. We talking about Jesus. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. My name is AJ the Wildfire. I'm laying it down, lighting fire. But today we got that fire on reserve right now. When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground. Come on now. Terrified. See, when the woman be the woman, and when it's time for you to elevate to the wife that God makes you to be, your old self bow down to you. Many of you, your old self is running you because you have not made the transformation yet. The man, you haven't transformed from the man to the husband. This is the mounting experience. When you marry Christ, you become a husband. Everybody around you has to bow down. And that's the effect of how your obedience and your availability gonna play out with your responsibility, your accountability, and your credibility, bringing forth stability, because God now has confirmed that you are who you are, and he's pleased with that. And now you got to go out into the world and be that. And the first people that bow down to you is the ones that's been around you. Come on now. So watch this. But Jesus came and touched them. See, they bowed down because that's what they was taught. He touched them. Get up, he said. Stop right there. See, that's a command. Get up. Get up. Don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid to be able to say that I am my life coach. God got me. He's strengthening me. He's empowering me. He's directing me. He's leading me, but not into temptation, right? He's delivering me from all forms of evil. That's why I consult with him. I'm not anxious about what I do. I wait on him to make the decision on what's best for me to do in that moment. Come on, y'all. Let's go deeper. Look at this. Don't be afraid. When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. No one. As they was coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, don't tell anyone what you have seen. Don't tell anyone what you have seen. This is a command. This is a Jesus command. For many people, they so busy trying to learn Moses' commands, they can't tell you Jesus' command. Jesus told you, don't say nothing. How many times Jesus tell you don't say nothing? Or somebody told you, hey, look, don't say nothing. And you went and told their business. This is why gossiping is not good. This is why it said gossip is a sin. Slandering somebody is a sin. Running your mouth is a sin. You shouldn't even chit chat about anybody that ain't got nothing to do with you. But see, we're nosy people. Why? Because we're programmed to want to know somebody else's business and affairs. We ain't got that type of time, right? Ain't got that type of time. Jesus told them, don't tell nobody this. And it wasn't a lot of people. It was a few people. Because some people need to see what they need to see. Because that's how leaders do. We light other people's fire, right? Leaders bring the best out of you. Being the best, bringing the best out of you might require me to say, don't tell nobody this, right? Because that could be your transformation from from woman to wife. You got to first be able to shut up and be trusted. But if you can't sit here and tell yourself to shut up and let me be trusted, and the first thing you're going to do is go run to your girlfriend, then you have delayed your ability to be transformed into a wife. And that's why when it says a man that finds a wife, see, your transformation came from you keeping your mouth closed. You supposed to popped up with the ring. That's all that we talking about. Bing, there you go. Bing, get blind. Bing, look at that, right? And then they say, I'm so proud of you. Oh my, get your phony self out of here. See, you better understand what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all can help. You can learn a lot from me, okay? Let's go deep. I ain't gonna tell y'all that. But you can go deep. He said, don't tell anyone. You see anyone? What you have seen. Until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. See, some of you, you are in a transition of, this is a state of emergency. This is the wrong time to be talking. This is the wrong time to be talking about what you done seen. You know, I seen in a dream. See, this is why I got to limit to my fasting. Me not fasting. Stop. Rebuke that thought. Limit to me coming on these broadcasting because I need some time for what I'm asking for to manifest. And the only way that's going to happen, I'm going to have to be quiet. I can't be on this broadcast looking at y'all like, no. There's some things that requires time. And you can't tell nobody. I'm out vision. I had a dream last night. I had a dream. I had a vision. God talked to me in vision. I had a dream. I was praying. God told me. He told you to be quiet. And you already trying to get, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. I need somebody to tell me I dreamed of catfish last night. That means stop eating it. That's what that means. That means don't eat no bottom feeders, right? It says, don't tell nobody yet. The disciples asked him, why? Listen to this. This is amazing. They said, the disciples asked, why? Why we can't tell nobody? See? They run their mouth just like you run yours. Why? Then do the teacher of the law say that Elijah must come first? You see? He's asking a question, right? Why then, right? Because this is supposed to be something we believe in, but they said Elijah's, so why are we getting something different? That's how they was taught. This is how you was taught. Jesus was replied, to be sure, Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come. And they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands. So, I want to tell you that, right? And I want to tell you, because I'm pressed on time, right? I'm pressed on time. So I have to scroll down to something. And I want to let you guys understand this. As we move forward in this season, we really have to understand it's an inside job. You have to do more work in learning you. Stop talking about fixing you. I'm working on me. I'm not perfect. Who told you not perfect? If you're not perfect, then fix what's not perfect about you. The only thing that's troubling you, that's hurting you, is the area that you ignore. The area that you ignore is the way you think, how you think, the why you think, the things you do, people, places, and things. People, places, and things will always take away from what it is that's being birthed. It always will dictate your environment, right, and your surroundings. I have another scripture that I have to go to for you guys. I have another scripture. I got a little time. Matthew 12. I have to give you this one. Matthew 12. I have to go. Let's go to Matthew 12 real quick. All right, Matthew 12, right? And we're going to go down to excuse me. Verse 22. Matthew 12, 22, right? Watch this. Verse 12, 22. Keep in mind, mental health, psych ward, outpatient. Let's go. Then they brought him, this is Jesus, a demon-possessed man who was blind and mute. Stop here. They brought him. Somebody knew that this person's condition was totally off. This is why you have to always operate at your best. Many of us, we keep trying to run to an altar because you're not operating at your best, right? Somebody brought this man. This man had a demon. Well, what the demon is, let's look at what the demon is on the man. A man with a demon. He was blind. Blind means he had no vision. Blind means he cannot see what he's doing. Blind means he don't see what he wants. He don't see what he needs. He don't see where he's going. He don't see error. He don't see mistakes. He don't see what it should be. This is why a lot of men cannot build a a marriage or a house or a home or a career or a new business because they're blind on how this is supposed to take place, right? Come on now. What am I saying? This is why a wife, a woman, right? She's blind. Why she's blind? Because she's so busy looking for a man of God to fix her problems, and she's not looking for God to send the son to fix her own self. She don't work on herself inwardly. She works on herself outwardly. Well, how would you say she work on herself outwardly and not inwardly? When she does her hair, that's working on herself outwardly. When she put her lipstick on, that's outwardly. Makeup outwardly. Eyelashes outwardly. Nails and pedicure outwardly. The way she dress and scrape her, that's outwardly. Now, where's her intelligence and her maturity at? See? This is what I'm trying to tell you. So, as we close, blind and mute. Mute means he's not a good communicator. She's not a good communicator. This is a demon, right? Always asking for demands of you. You don't do this. You should do this. You need to do this. We should do this, right? But not a person of action, right? So Jesus healed him, right? So that he could both see and talk, right? Talk and see. Talk and see, right? Jesus did this. The individual. See, when you receive Christ, now it's time for you to speak as though that thing is not as though it's right. It's time for you to speak life. It's time for you to see what you need to do in order to be successful at where it is that you're going with all those things. So watch this. All the people was astonished and said, could this be the son of David? Right? My point, here it comes. But when the Pharisee heard this, they said, this is only Beelzebul, right? The prince of demons. Listen to me. You see, when you're programmed, you will always believe what you believe. And in spite of what you see, you will go off of what you know. And what you know is what's been programmed in your mind, right? But what you know is what you've been programmed in your mind. What you see is a miracle. What you know is past tense. What you see is right now. And when you cannot identify with what you see, that's because you're not available. You're not open. You're not available. You're not responsible. You don't have accountable. You don't have no credibility. You don't have no stability. So what do? They say he's the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons. Jesus knew their thoughts. You see, he knew their thoughts. Many times you know somebody else's thoughts because at the same time, it's the position that you hold. He knew their thoughts and said to them, even every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined. Very important. Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined. When somebody comes in your life, whoever that is in your life, they shall make your life better, which means they come to your life. They are the blessing. This is the gift from God. When they show up, it makes your life better. But if you don't handle what show up as a blessing, demons will come to you and make you curse the blessing, make you question the blessing, make you doubt the blessing, leaving you unworthy of the blessing. And when Christ and somebody else asks, why didn't they get what it is that I sent to them? Why did they reject you? Christ in them says they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing with the husband that came into their life. They don't know that they're supposed to be a wife already. They don't know that they have a responsibility when they're carrying the Holy Spirit. They don't know that it's their job to unlearn everything they learn and to relearn. It's their job to start over. It's their job to know what makes their life better. It's their job. They don't know. So he said, every kingdom divided against themselves. That means what he sent to you, you got to fight for what he sent to you, because what you are used to and accustomed to is fighting you, keeping you from accepting the gift that God sent to you. Come on now. If it makes you better, you better practice saying the right things. I'm going through something right now. Just let me call you back. Just so you won't take what you're going through out on what God sent to you. Because if you take it out on that, it going to take it out on you. That demon going to get stronger, and the power of what God sent is getting weaker. You hear me? You're getting pulled back into darkness. Come on, you guys, listen at this. Every kingdom will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. A marriage would not stand. You as a wife will not stand. A husband needs a wife. A wife needs a husband. But if you are divided in regards to who you are, that house will not stand. That means you will get brought down as a wife. You hear me? Please hear me. The house will not stand. If Satan drives out Satan, he is divided against himself. How can his kingdom stand? And if I drive out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do people drive them out? See, when you show up for good, the only thing that comes out is good. But the person that questions good can't receive good because they don't give good. They didn't show up bearing gifts, right? So that's my time. That is my time. Wait. Verse Matthew 12 will be a good closer. Matthew 12, a good closer. You guys know I love Jesus truly, right? Yeah, sure you do too. Verse 12, Matthew's 12, verse 42. Listen to this. The queen of the south will rise at judgment. This is where we at right now. The queen of the south will rise at judgment with this generation and condemn it. That's the woman. Queen of the south. That's like Sexy Red and all them, right? Listen to this. And condemn it, right? That means those people that's focused, they're going to lean to, they want to ratchet. Bow, bow, bow. They want to do that, right? They want to have ratchet moment, right? For she came from the ends of the earth to listen to Solomon. Now remember, Solomon asked God, how can I get wisdom for your people, right? How can I get wisdom? Give me wisdom for your people, God. So Solomon asked God for wisdom for people. The queen of the south came to Solomon and got some information from Solomon. So now the woman can control the woman now. The woman can control the woman now. Bow, bow, bow. Y'all know the ratchet songs, right? So the woman now has power, right? It says, now something is greater than Solomon is here. Something greater than Solomon. Remember, Solomon was the most wisdom type man who asked God for wisdom for people. Jesus says, now something greater than Solomon is here. Now, watch this. When an impure spirit comes out of a person, stop right here. For many of us, you need to understand, stop looking for a spirit to come out of somebody else and start looking for a spirit to come out of you. Don't keep talking about this the spirit, this the spirit. What spirit? Get that impure spirit out of you. Watch this. When an impure spirit come out of a person, come on now, it goes through array places seeking rest and does not find it. Stop right there. Why is it seeking rest? Because that impure spirit is resting in you. It's sleep in you. And it ain't waking up until something wakes it up or it's hungry. And when it's hungry, it wakes you up because it wants to be fed. It wants to have some drama. It needs something to fuel its purpose. It needs you to blame somebody, accuse somebody. It needs for you to have an attitude. It needs for you to sit here and cut up. Do you hear me? You know this ain't you. You've been good all week. Matter of fact, some of you been good all month. But somebody know how to push your button. That's the impure spirit that has not released you yet, right? Now watch this. I'm closing it on this one. I don't want to be deep today, you guys. It says, it's seeking a place to rest and does not find it, right? You see, most of the time when somebody come to me, their spirit cannot rest in me. It can't find no rest in me. My body is, this temple is not a resting place for lazy spirits, for lying spirits, for deceptive spirits, for confused spirits, for jealous spirits, for insecure. I go on and on. None of these spirits will never, ever, 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 ever rest on this one, okay? It does not rest here, right? Trust me, it can't. That's why I said it finds nowhere to rest. This is when you meet somebody and they trying to get through. They trying to break through to you. So what you like doing? Everything? Oh, you like doing everything. So when last time I did something, it wasn't with you. What's your point? Right? What's your favorite food? I don't really have one. Favorite color? Whatever the color is okay with me. Why you being difficult? Why is difficult coming up? I didn't know that's difficult. Why you not using your mind? Why you trying to hijack me? You know, what went on in your last relationship? The same thing that's going on in this relationship, right? You know what? You're doing too much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's too much for you because you're not doing enough for you. Everything that goes on with me is only operating in me. This is kingdom-minded. It's a lot to be kingdom-minded. And why is a lot? Because it's less me, more kingdom. It's less me, more kingdom. Well, I want to see you. You can't see me till you first go through the kingdom and try to find me. I'm so lost in the kingdom. Didn't it say that my father mentioned he got many rooms? I don't even know what room I be chilling in sometimes. Come on, y'all. I love God, right? Watch this. Look at this. It says, it don't find no resting place. That's what I'm saying. People can't rest on you. They want to sit in your life with kick feet up. Ain't done nothing. What you doing? You know, every call I get sometimes, I'm not even calling people. They call my phone to torment me because they can't see where I'm at. What you doing? Where you at? What you got going on? All right. It's common. Men, women, doesn't matter. And it could be overwhelming sometimes, right? So watch this. It says, they ain't answer, right? They wasn't there, they ain't answer, they ain't doing nothing. But I'm tired. I want to go out. I want to do something. I will return to the house I left. See, I will return to the house I left. Who is this talking? The impure spirit. So when some of you talking about your spirit told you, the impure spirit can only attract an impure spirit, right? People project onto others what's inside of them. Come on, y'all. Roll with me. It says, then I will return to the house I left. So some of you could be good for a minute. But the moment you decide I want to be with somebody, that spirit come back. So listen, you can be good by yourself. Oh, thank you, God. Yes, Lord. I need you, God. I'm by myself, you know, this and that. But the moment you say, I want to be married, the impure spirit come back. Why? Because you had to make a request, meaning you had to be open. When you are open, you open up for that impure spirit to get back in you. Now, you're looking for somebody else again, and it just starts all over again. Why? I'm going to show you to you. When the spirit comes back, when it arrives, meaning it's back. You dating again, you back. You go get your hair done, you back, right? When you go say, I know, you back, right? You forgot about all your problems, you back, right? When it arrives, it finds the house unoccupied. Like, wait a minute now. Ain't nobody here? Okay. Let me get back in. Listen, swept clean and put in order. Notice, a spirit is telling you that you got order now. Order meaning not disorder, but order. That means enough is enough. I done fasted. I done prayed. I'm back in alignment. I'm vibing. I'm looking good. But it's time to interact with someone. And when I do, the trigger button hits. Trap door comes on. Pew, spirit comes back in. And now this is what happens, right? It says, then it goes and take with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself. That means when it sees the house swept clean, it got to go back and find some more spirits to not live in them, to live in you. Some more spirits. So now You got more spirits inside of you. Wicked spirits at that. And then it go in. See, it didn't come in at first. It didn't come in at first. You got to understand this. It came and seen, it looked at you. That was a monitoring spirit. It came and looked at you and said, they got their stuff together now. Okay, it's time. I'm going to need some backup. They go get 7 other spirits. Remember, they used to live in you. One of them. 7 others come back. Go in. How they go in? They go in with your music. They go in with what you see. They go in with what you eat. They go in physically. They go in mentally. They go financially. They come in and they ravage every area in your life. Listen to that. And they go in and live there. And live there. Do you hear me? Let me be clear with you. You are being who you are. But what you unaware of is you can still be who you are, but it's what's living in you. What's living in you have to come out of you. But what's living in you, you don't claim it being in you. But guess what? It keep hindering you, stumbling, making you fall, making you dizzy. All this stuff, right? It is living in you. And you wondering, how did this get in me? Because nobody wanted you to understand or took time out for you. Listen to this. It lives there. And the final condition, that means they live there, is the final condition, right? And listen, the final condition is they live there. So they live there now. The final condition of that person is worse. Is worse than the first. Is worse than the first. Listen to me. That is how it will be with this wicked generation. So what you have going on, Sister Sonia, I trust that you're here. Sister Sonia, see, I trust that you're here. What you have, this is the wicked generation, and they're up against more spirits that lives in the individual. So remember, I started off by saying, this is a orange. This is a orange. You cut the orange, and when you squeeze it, it should pour out orange juice. Orange juice. When you squeeze it, orange juice come out. If this was an orange, when I squeeze it, apple juice shouldn't come out. What comes out of you when God squeezes you? When God squeezes you, you're crying. But what coming out of you? Isn't it not disappointment? Isn't it not hurt? Isn't it not sadness? Isn't it not you ain't done all you should have done? Isn't it not failure? When he squeezes you, what comes out of you? I don't have no husband. Guess what? Because what's coming out of you is preventing you from having a husband. You got to fix what's in you before you can get what you desiring. So all this disappointment is when you get squeezed, something comes out. And when it comes out and it's dark like this here, that right there, I'm not drinking that right there. Because what's coming out of you will poison me. Come on now. It's already affecting you. You have to deal with you before you can sit here and function the way you're supposed to be functioning. Come on now. What am I saying? I'm saying, you guys, it's an inside job. Thank God that we called the time out. Thank God that we recognize what's going on. The best will bring the best out of you. And what am I saying? Get around people that brings the best out of you, but the best don't come with a challenge. The best comes with change. And I know that when I challenge you, it will change you for the better. Come on now. I'm not here because I want you to like me. I'm not here because I want you to agree with me. I'm not here because I want you to roll with me or follow me. I'm here because I know that challenge brings change. And I Am a Life Coach is the only thing that will challenge you at this point to be the best version of yourself in the midst of a time of a wicked generation that has 7 spirits living in them. And them 7 spirits is not of God. Come on now. Them 7 spirits is not of God. The hardest lesson that I had to learn is to stop to stop. You see, a car, when it's driving, in order to go in the right direction, it must first stop. And what I have learned is me, as well as other people, we never stop. We just talk. We just hear, we just talk. We just hear, we just talk. You see, but today, what I'm trying to get you to see is that when you going in the wrong direction or whatever, you need to stop first. Stop. Come to a stop. Stop expecting you out of someone else. And that is the hardest lesson that I have ever had to teach myself, is stop expecting me out of somebody else. You have to realize that the work that you did to become who you are, is so precious that you got to guard it with your life. Just like Jesus said, do not tell them where you getting your source from. Do not tell them what just happened. Do not tell them that I am my life coach. I ain't rolling with y'all no more. Do not tell them this. Why? Because if you do, you're going to start expecting you out of them, and it will crash you. Don't expect them out of you. That's the first step, because it's two commands. One is stop expecting you out of them, right? Out of someone else, right? The second one is don't expect you out of somebody else. What am I saying? That means I didn't have to stop. Here's another command. Don't expect you. That means, hey, you, don't expect you out of them. Don't expect. See, my mind wants to expect the best out of them, but don't you do it. Because you only can expect what's coming out of you. You only can control what's coming out of you. You only responsible for what's coming out of you. You only responsible for how you say it. You ain't responsible if they understand it or not. You're not responsible for what they say, what they hear. You're responsible for what you're not responsible for what they understand. You only responsible for what you say. And that's all I'm expressing to you today. Availability will bring forth the responsibility. But first, you got to have availability. Is your heart available? Is your mind available? Is the God in you available? Is the Spirit available? Is your walk available? Is your ears available? Can you hear? If I can't hear something, can you hear? Are you available? Is your eyes available? Can you see like I see? That if I'm looking this way, that you can see that way. Are you available? When you can say I'm available, then God comes in fully. And what he do? He gives you a responsibility. Then he hits you with accountability. Then he gives you stability. Then he says, okay, stability is bringing forth what? Credibility, because you're available. Now you understand security now. And now you have secured the package. And the package is the God in you. That is the package. I am secure right now in what I'm doing. I'm secure in the relationship I'm in because I'm the security to this thing here. My God ain't letting nobody breach this system that I got running right now. Why they can't breach it? They can't breach it because I am my life coach. And if you can say the same, I am my life coach too, then you got a system too. And guess what? We always can do a system check. But one thing I know, two things for certain. Your system better be suited for you. But don't make a system out of me. Do you hear me? Because if you make a system out of me, that devil gonna make a fool out of you. 7 demons living in an individual is not a healthy environment. You guys, I pray and hope that you guys was able to soar to a higher place. Let's be clear. You have to be the best. The best only can attract the best. Don't want the best. I said attract the best. I didn't say want the best and you get the worst. Many times you want better, but you don't want to be better. See, when you want better, it requires more of you, and you ain't available for that. You ain't available for that. You're too busy looking, and you're not too busy performing. You're not busy performing. Perform like God is watching, because he is. He's watching everything you do and everything you're not doing. Knowledge wins today. Ignorant has to lose today. This message is another one for the books. Pray you guys understood it. If not, go rewind it. Listen to it again and again and again and again and again and again till it all makes sense. I Am My Life Coach book is available on Amazon. You should go get it. Get it for somebody. It's a good gift. You want to help somebody in this day and time, you're going to have to put that book in their hand. Stop trying to give all your energy to someone. Buy this book, give it to them. It's on them at that point. You did all you can do. But for some of you, you will give them hours and hours and hours, and it's not sticking. You have to put some money behind it. You're going to have to invest, sow a seed, buy a book, give it to someone. You need to read this. They're going to remember what you did for them. Because in order to read this book, you're going to need eyes to see, but you're going to need some quiet time to hear. They will go through this book, read this book, and it will begin to take effect. I encourage you guys to check that out. Amazon. You can also visit IamMyLifeCoach.org, the shop store. You can order this mental health psych ward outpatient. You got I Am My Life Coach on the back. We got a lot of other gear and other t-shirts and things as such on the shop as well. Remember, moving forward, starting in June, I'm only doing one broadcast a month. Thank God for that one. This is the proper way to do things, because what I'm requiring out of my life is going to require some silence. Everybody can't know everything I'm doing. Everybody can't know everything God telling me, right? So my point is, up until this point, it's been a message where God tell me something, I share with you what he told me. If you don't do it, if you don't believe it, that's all totally up to you and your God. But for me, I have to do it. And what am I saying? When I fast on the first, that's what he told me to do. I'm going to continue to do what he told me to do until he tell me don't do it. And as of right now, bigger, better, greater is where I'm at. Bigger, better, greater is where you're going. And if you are already there, then no. Keep striving for bigger, better, and greater. Stay away from people that's watching you. Because if you start watching them, you will tumble, guarantee. You will tumble, guarantee. Don't watch who's watching you. Watch the one that's better, because that's the one that's expecting more out of you. Chase the one that makes you better. That's the value of God. That's the value of God. That is the rich mentality. That is wealth. Wealth and health. Health comes from knowing how it works. I bring forth the message today. Adonis D. Johnson, creative I Am My Life Coach, that makes you wealthy. You're wealthy and you're healthy in God, because at this moment, you have a better idea of how it works. And if you know how it works, that's how you work. You don't know how somebody else works. You only know how you work, and we need to get to work. We need to get to work so that we can enjoy the fruits of the labor on who? On self. That's how it works. Peace and blessings. Take care.